without microorganism, world cannot survive? Is it true? Is it true? Without microorganism, our world cannot survive. Is it true? Is it true? How? How? Yes, you're correct. How? Why? Why? See, always when anybody put you a question, you should get that feeling. Why? What? Okay, you have to reason it. Should have the reasoning capacity to analyze it. Don't accept everything what others say. Okay, so when anybody gives you any statement, no, you analyze it. Why? What? When? How? Should get that question. Yes, very good, Kelly. Plants will not grow. Why? Again, why? Very good, Trinity. There are many microorganisms that help us in our daily life. Okay. Yes. So somebody gave me that point. Plants will not grow. Why? Do plants need microorganism for the growth? What is the link between microorganism and plant? Nitrogen to, very good, very good. So rhizobium converts the nitrogen to nitrate. So if protein has to be obtained from plants, they need the microorganisms for the conversion of nitrogen into nitrates. Okay. Any other use? See, we have a very important reason that living things die, isn't it? No living thing can live in this world till the world ends. Okay, so if we say a living thing, the overall truth is it has to die one day. To lose the root. What you are trying to say? I didn't follow you. Okay, so a living thing has to die. Okay, now earthworm is not a microorganism, Animalia. Earthworm belongs to worm category. It's not a microorganism. Okay. Yes. Now imagine from the world has begun now till now. If all the living things that has died is as such in this world, what would happen to this world? Okay. Whatever has died, any animal, human being, plant, is everything is kept as such in this world. What will happen to this world? The world will be full of that decaying smell only, isn't it? So no plant, animal and the human being can survive. Okay, that the decomposition smell will be there any here and there, but we cannot survive, isn't it? Plants, we cannot get the fossil fuels. Okay, only if all the living things that has died will decompose, should be decomposed, okay, to organic matter and should be added to the soil. Okay, a very important process is decomposition. Okay, that is why this world is surviving. Okay, all this. Yes, very good. Yes, Ritu. Yes, it is a microorganism. It is a microorganism only. Though it belongs to fungus, it's a unicellular organism. Okay, so whatever has died, whether it is a plant, it should be decomposed. Otherwise, we cannot live in this world. Okay, we get one stinking smell. So even a small rat, if a rat is killed in our home, no, what we do? If it is kept in our kitchen without throwing out, we cannot enter into the kitchen and the whole our house will be having a stinking smell, isn't it? So what should happen there? It should be decomposed. The microorganism should act upon it. It should be converted into organic matter. Okay, so we know very well that our body is fully made up of minerals only. We say bone, muscles, blood, everything is made up of minerals. From top to bottom, from head to nail, everything is made up of minerals only. Okay, all plants are made up of minerals. All animals are made up of minerals. Clear? Every organ is made up of minerals. That's what, when they die, They will be converted into minerals again and added up to the soil. Clear? Okay, that's what the soil regains its lost nutrients. Clear? Yes, Calipia, that's what microorganisms are very useful to us. Without microorganism, life cannot exist in this world. Plants are important, microorganisms are important, everything is important to keep up the ecosystem in a running way. Okay, even if one member of ecosystem is absent, no, that ecosystem cannot run in a proper way. Okay, it's now you can see what are this why these organisms get the name microorganism. Okay, because the micro, what is this micro? These organisms can be seen only with the help of microscope. Only with the help of microscope. We cannot see these organisms with our naked eye. They are very, 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 very small. Micro, we say micro. Okay. They are not in millimeter, centimeter. Okay. They are very, very small. They can be seen only through the microorganism. Even if you wear specs also, you cannot see that. Now you are sitting in a room. Okay. Even that room has millions and millions of microorganisms. Can you believe it? Okay. Millions of microorganisms are hovering around you. And many viruses are there, many bacteria are there, yeast are there, fungal spores are there. Can you imagine that? Don't think you are sitting alone in the room. You're not sitting alone in the room. Okay. Thousands of microorganisms are there in the air, around you, in water, in the soil. Clear? So, microorganisms are present everywhere in this environment. But we cannot see. Okay, we cannot always carry a microscope with us to see whether where is microorganism, where is virus, where is bacteria. That's what doctors say. You have to wash your hands thoroughly. Okay, when you go out, come back to your house. Okay, you have to wash your hands, wash your legs, wash your face, and enter into your house. That's very safe. Okay, because when you go out, no, somebody have sneezed. Okay, or they will have cough. So when they cough and sneeze, you know very well, microorganisms travel at a high speed. Okay, it will be in your clothes, it will be in your face, in your hands. You have touched any place. Okay, so better when you enter home, you should wash your hands, legs, and face thoroughly. Okay, so you have to wash your nostrils and then you enter home. Okay, so when you're out in bus or anywhere else, no, don't often touch your nose or mouth or eyes. Okay, because your hands may contain lot of microorganisms. They will be beneficial or harmful. They will enter into your body. Clear? So microorganisms get its name because they are very tiny. They are very small. They can be viewed only with the help of the microscope. So microscope is the instrument used to see very small objects, very small microorganisms. It is a microscope. Why, Kanishka? Why it is a microscope? They have magnifying lens. They have the magnifying lens to detect the handprint. Okay. Yes. So, as I told you, they are present everywhere. You will be very surprised that, see, these microorganisms are not only present in and around us, they are even present in volcano eruptions. So, volcano eruptions in polar regions, even in the hot spring. Okay, so can you imagine volcanic eruptions? No, everything will be destroyed when a small, a drop of volcanic eruption falls on it. No, it will be burned completely. But these microorganisms are able to live in that volcanic eruptions also. See how powerful they are. They are not burned by the heat of the volcano. Okay, similarly, they can live in the polar regions also. When we visit any hill stations, so what we do? We wear a sweater, we wear mufflers, we wear clothes to protect us from that chillness. But these microorganisms can comfortably live in the polar regions. So they are so powerful. They have a lot of protective preventive, that is, it has protective coats around them to protect them from the extreme heat or extreme chillness. Okay, see, similarly, they can live in hot springs. Okay, so we have heard that when we cook something thoroughly, the microorganisms will die. But a few microorganisms can even withstand very high temperatures. Okay, they won't die. They can live even in the hot springs. So in Japan, you can see, from the ground, many hot water springs will be there. Okay, these microorganisms can live in the hot springs also. Not all. Don't be panic. Not all. A few microorganisms. They can live in volcanic eruption. They can live in polar regions, and they can live in the hot springs also. So you might be thinking, how it is possible? How we cannot live? So if you go and put your finger in the volcanic eruptions, no, the finger will be only ashes will be there in the base of your finger. The bone, even the bone will be completely burned. Okay, if you put a small flesh in the volcanic eruption, no, completely it will be dissolved. But how these microorganisms are able to live? That is, they will have a cyst around them. So they are very intelligent. Okay, they will have a cyst around them. So take for example, we have a lot of microorganisms in our elementary canal. See, when we eat food, no, sometimes unknowingly we may have some harmful microorganisms in the food. If it is not cooked properly, if we buy the food from outside hotels, restaurants, no, at that time, otherwise, if you're not keeping the food closed, okay, we know very well that air has a lot of microorganisms. It may fall on the food. Unknowingly, we will eat that food or drink that water, then we will be getting that microorganism inside our body. Okay, so it causes many health issues inside our body. Okay, so many times, no, when we take medicines normally, they will not be killed. They will not be killed. Okay, why? Because many microorganisms have a protective coat around them. It's called cyst. Okay, they will have a protective coat around them, and inside the protective coat, they will be living. Okay, yes, it is called cyst. And few microorganisms, no, they will be in the soil. Okay, they will remain in the soil till any proper body is obtained by them. All microorganisms cannot live in all the body. Okay, they are host specific. Okay, they will remain in the soil. Even if you wash or put any chemicals, no, they won't die. They will make a protective covering over them, and they remain safely inside it. Okay, only when the favorable conditions return. When the favorable conditions return, they will come out of the cyst and enter into any host body. Okay, so who is the host here? I say two words now. So who is the host? Who you call as host? Host is nothing but host may be a plant or an animal or a human being on which the harmful microorganism will live. Parasites will live. Okay, host. I may be a host or you may be a host. If a harmful bacteria lives inside the body, you are a host. If COVID virus lives inside the body of any person, he is a host. Okay, so until a proper host is procured by a microorganism, no, it will prepare a cyst around it and will remain in the air or in the soil or anywhere. Okay, only when favorable conditions return. Some microorganisms, no, they cannot live in cold conditions. They need a warm temperature. So when there is winter, no, they will prepare a cyst and live inside the cyst. Only when the winter is over and summer comes, the onset of summer comes, no, they know that. So they will come out of the cyst and they will start to live a comfortable life. Few microorganisms cannot live in summer. They prepare a cyst and live inside the cyst. When summer is over, when winter comes, they will come out of the cyst and they will live. Okay, cyst is a protective covering. Okay, whatever you apply, the cyst will not be destroyed. The microorganisms can live inside the cyst until a favorable condition comes. Okay, once the condition is favorable, they come out of the cyst. Like we shut our all the windows, doors, and we remain in the house when there is any thunder showers or any that is during quarantine period. No, then when it is over, we come out of the house. Like that, they will remain inside the cyst. Okay, that's what they will not be killed. Any chemical or heat or any chillness will not affect them. Clear? This is called cyst. Got it, children? Introductory part is clear to you all? Clear to you all? Okay? Yes. Now we can see the types of microorganism. Okay, we have some 5 types of microorganism. Microorganism types. Okay, what is the first type? Virus. Bacteria. Fungi. Algae. And finally, protozoans. The 5 categories: virus, bacteria, fungi, algae, and protozoans. Okay, see, all these come under microorganism. When you say fungi, all the members of the fungi are not microorganism. They can be seen by our naked eye also. Few forms can be seen by our naked eye also. Okay, only 1 or 2, particularly yeast. Yeast is a unicellular fungi, and the spores of fungi are very small. They can be viewed only through the microscope. Okay, so all the others, no, they all are microorganisms. They are very small, that they can be viewed only through the microscope. Got it, children? Types of microorganism? Yes. Okay. First, we can see about what is 5 types of microorganism. Yes. First, we can see about bacteria. Okay, we can see about bacteria. Because bacteria, no, when we say bacteria, there is harmful bacteria and beneficial bacteria also. Clear? So, bacteria is an unicellular organism. So, when we say microorganism, it is unicellular organism. What do you mean by unicellular? Uni means only one. Okay, when you say microorganism or unicellular organism, it means that it is made up of only one cell. Imagine, see, a small, this little finger, no? This little finger has thousands of cells. Okay, this little finger has thousands of cells. It has very different kinds of cells. Bone cells are there, blood cells are there. Okay, dermal cells are there. Clear, but bacteria is made up of only one cell. Okay, that one cell will carry out all the life activities. It doesn't have a different mouth, anus, lungs, kidney, okay, blood, nothing they have. Okay, yes, this one cell will take care of all life activities. All life activities. Okay, that one cell, see, this one cell it will take care of feeding, digestion, excretion, reproduction, all will be taken care of only one cell. Imagine. Okay, one cell will have different organelles, structures to take care of these functions. Clear this one? That's why we say bacteria is a microorganism. Moreover, when we talk about bacteria, no, we have to know 2 terms. One is prokaryote. One is prokaryote. Colors will differ. It's not colors. We have many types of bacteria, depending upon the shape, not colors. We will see after this. Okay, we have different 4 types of bacteria, depending upon the shape of the bacteria. Okay, So you have to understand two terms. One is prokaryote, other one is eukaryote. Okay, what is this prokaryote? It consists of two words, prokaryote. Okay, have you learned the structure of cell, plant cell and animal cell? Do you know the structure of plant cell and animal cell? Have you learned in 7th standard? Structure of plant cell and animal cell. When you have learned in 6th or 7th, when you learned? Last year? 7th. So I think you know the different parts of a cell. Okay. Now recall the parts of an animal cell. Can you say what are the parts of animal cell? Yes. What are the different organelles present in the animal cell? Different organelles present in the animal cell? Amoeba, Trinity. Yes, very good, Fazil. Nucleus, very good. Nucleus. Any other? You have some 6 too. Very good, Harish. Ribosomes. Very good. No problem, Trinity. Just recall. Yes, nucleus, ribosomes. Only 2. Very good, Fazil. Cytoplasm. Very good. Okay, no problem. Yes, nucleus, ribosome, cytoplasm. Any other parts? What are? Okay, no problem, children. See, nucleus, ribosome, cytoplasm, mitochondria, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum, lysosomes, centrioles or centrosomes, all should be contained in a cell. Okay, if you say an animal cell or a cell membrane, yes, all these should be contained in a cell. Then only we say that it is a proper cell. It is if all these are present, okay, if all these organelles contain double membrane, every organelle should be bound by two membranes. Then we say that this cell is a eukaryotic cell. We say that it is a eukaryotic cell. Okay, see, all this should be present. That too, each organelle should be surrounded by two membranes. Double membrane should be there. Then we say that this cell belongs to a eukaryotic animal. See, we all belong to eukaryote. Okay, eukaryote. Karyote means nucleus. Karyote means nucleus. Yes, Divyashri, very good. Okay, eukaryote means a well-developed, well-advanced nucleus. It contains two membrane. But this bacteria, no, this bacteria doesn't contain all these organelles, doesn't have all these organelles. Okay. No, ma, it is just for your understanding. It is not in the book. I'm giving you some extra points because if I say only the term, no, you may not understand. You cannot learn anything in imagination. You should know what is the proper term. Okay, thus I'm giving for your understanding. Clear? See, so we all belong to eukaryote. Okay, all the higher plants and animals belong to eukaryote because they all have these structures in double membrane. These organelles are bound by double membrane. Okay, dogs, cats, tiger, okay, and then worms, they all are eukaryotes. But Bacteria is the prokaryote. It doesn't have the Golgi body. It doesn't have lysosome, nor centrioles, no endoplasmic reticulum. Even it doesn't contain a proper nucleus. If you want, you can take it down, Harsha, no problem. Okay, so the bacteria doesn't contain a proper nucleus also. Okay, so prokaryote means nucleus. Pro means first formed, primitive. Pro means primitive, old. Okay, so bacteria is the prokaryote because bacteria contains a primitive nucleus, first formed nucleus, old nucleus. Okay, time is up. Okay, children, thank you. So Caleb is very punctual. We can take 1 more minute. Okay. So bacteria, they say that bacteria is the first form living thing. That's what they say. Bacteria belongs to prokaryote. It's just an extra information only, children. You can see in detail in the next class about the types of bacteria depending upon its shape. Thank you, children.